All right, hello again, everybody. This is Derek, and I'll be coming back at you with another um, live stream of Pendragon. We got our players in Discord. Let me go ahead and bring them on. Um, Look for an announcement. I'm going to be making an announcement video in the next day or so about adding new players. So if you're interested in joining our Pendragon game, look for that announcement, and I'll tell you a little bit about Pendragon. And I'm also planning on doing a like a tutorial, not a tutorial, maybe a review, I should say, of the Pendragon rules and how it flows and how it moves. But yeah, if you're interested in Pendragon, you can contact me on Roll20 uh, or through my YouTube channel. All right, so let me go ahead and bring the players on, and let's go ahead and get this show on the road. First of all, let's try to get the stream set up properly. Okay, I'm on the wrong window. There we go. Move this. And then let me see if I can get my camera working here. Hang on. All right,
Yeah, we were
guys.
just squires a little while ago. You know,
Yeah, but it was
can't
3-on-1.
How's everybody doing?
Pretty good.
We're doing great. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. Oh, I see. Hang on just a second. My camera's not working. It's because it's probably on in my. Yeah, let me deactivate it there. It can't go to two places at once.
Why not?
I guess because I'm not cool like that. Okay, it looks like it's
Don't worry, I think you're cool.
trying to come on, but it's not coming on. Let's do that. There we are. Now I'm on there. Okay. We lost another player.
Really?
Yeah. Aubrey decided he said that Pendragon just isn't the game for him. He did say that he enjoyed playing with everybody. He thought we were a welcoming group and had no problems with the group at all. It was just the game system that he was struggling with. And I'm like, okay, that's all right. It's not Dungeons and Dragons. You know, it's definitely got its own flavor. Let me. So what I'm going to be doing over the next few days is I'm going to be putting together a video uh, as kind of a introduction to Pendragon, but it's so I can put it up on YouTube. But it's also going to be a like a recruiting video. I'm going to see if I can spark some interest in the game. Um, Otherwise, we'll just have to drive on. Okay, hang on. What am I trying to do?
As the GM, you could kind of change it from the rules and put some RPG elements into it more than it has, and you'll get more people.
Yeah, I don't know if that would it might attract that type of a person, and that's what I once we get past the initial intro to the game stories, I was planning on introducing a lot more I don't know, fantasy elements, if that's a word. I was planning on introducing more of a
RPG.
yeah, like an RPG, like a player-driven um,
Yeah.
story where right now it's kind of like this is kind of like the lead up to the campaign. This is like the prologue. That's the word I'm looking for. This is kind of the prologue, and you guys are still in the prologue, um, which
Yeah, that would be a good idea to do that. So more RPG driven. That would
yeah,
make it a lot better.
absolutely. Um, there's nothing stopping you from role playing. Maybe you've felt like I've put a limit or I pushed for something other than role playing during the campaign, and if I have, then I'm sorry. That's not my intention. Um, my intention is to get you through the prologue in a timely manner. But I don't want to. I don't want you to think that this is not a role playing game because it is a role. It is definitely is a role playing game. And you can role play your characters all you want. You know, I just don't want you to think that this game is a hour by hour role playing game like Dungeons and Dragons, where you wake up in the morning. What do you do? I go to the local shop and I buy my sword. And now what do you do? I go to the local dungeon and I go from room to room. And okay, now what do you do? Okay, I go back to the castle. And not that's not this kind of game. This game is not a like an hour by hour role playing. But on the other hand, it can be. Certain adventures will be that way. Um, but it's also designed in a way where it's supposed to be multi generational. Your first character is not, you're not supposed to, um, you're not supposed to, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Um, it's not going to be your last character. You know, you're not making a character to do everything with this character. This is just the start of your career. This is supposed to be a game that lasts hundreds of years, and so you're supposed to get through the years pretty quickly, and then move on to different characters that go on different adventures. But um, but the but I understand where you. I guess you want me to slow it down and focus on your initial first characters more, and that way the campaign actually would last a lot longer if we did that, which is fine. You know, nothing wrong with that. So maybe we'll try that. Maybe after the prologue, maybe we'll do a instead of me going every other week is a year. Maybe every other week is a couple of months. Okay, so where did we? Oh, here we are. Yeah, where did we last leave off? Well, we left off with you guys showing up at Londinium, right? Where your characters. Now I expanded the map a little bit, and I put a bunch of characters on the right. And this is everybody that was traveling with Robert. Over on the right, you got you two. You got Sir Sanson and Sir Gwyneth, along with Sir Eddern. Eddern is the captain of the household knights. We got Sir Pyres and Sir Kenrick are also here with you. You got also all your squires, which I don't have listed here. Your squires are with you. all of the knights have their squires with them, attending to the camp and stuff like that, and the horses and equipment and stuff like that. But Sir Robert has come along. Sir Leo and Dame Aspara are all here with him, and this is the entourage. The ladies, other than Dame Aspara, have not come along. Gwyneth, if you wanted, did you want your wife, who is she basically is tending to a newborn, so or a I should say she's pregnant. I'm not sure exactly when your daughter is going to be born, but I guess it was the very last winter scene that we determined that you were wanting to have a child, right?
Yeah.
But you were actually married very shortly after the siege of Duplain, which would have been around Easter. All right, so that would have been
Really?
Yeah.
I was thinking it was already summer.
Well, it's like it was. It could have been around the summer. So technically, she. I mean, we've already rolled to see what birth and the
Yeah.
all that, but technically, she's probably due in about 2 or 3 months.
Yeah.
All right, so she's got a belly on her. And it's understood that she would stay back at the castle unless you want her to travel with you, which she will, but that's,
No, she needs to stay where there's like cryogens
right,
in town.
and not traveling
Yeah,
on the road and all that.
This wives and stuff there, so you probably be best to leave it there.
Okay, now I remember what I needed to do. It only took me
I'll be right back.
glancing over at my stream, seeing that my camera is all cattywampus. Okay, that is. We're back up. We're up to speed now. Okay. Yeah. So she'll stay behind, under medical supervision and with friends and ladies in waiting and all that stuff. But
Yeah, because I don't know how to take care of a pregnant lady.
right, exactly.
What do they even eat? Like bread crusts?
They drink a lot of milk. I don't know. I have no idea.
Are they supposed to sleep on their stomach or their back?
They sleep standing up,
I
just
a
like
horse,
just
got
like a cow, Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but so your squires are here. You move in. You traveled in, and the area that is where the camps are being set up. Hopefully, you got the map of Londinium on your screen. I hope I moved everybody over. It's not a black screen or anything, is it?
No, I got Ladim. I just had to move it around.
Okay. So this area right here, I don't know if you can see my ping. If I hold Control and do it, or is it Alt, or is it Shift? Yeah, it's Shift. Okay. So if my ping right in here where the numbers 7 and 8 are. Okay, 7 being the Lud Gate, and it's named after Lord Lud, because he has this castle F. Foxtrot right there is that whole section there is his own personal estate. That's the Lud Gate, even though he has his own little gate that leads across the river. And then there's number 8, which is the new gate. So these are a couple of what direction is that? Western facing gates. That section of land right in there between the 2 rivers and the 2 roads, that is relatively flat and clear, and all around and it's very large. I can't remember how big it says it is, but it is very large. Not a mile, but maybe a mile in length. I mean, it's huge, and maybe, I mean, that might be an exaggeration. Maybe it's a kilometer, something like that. But all around the edges, on the roads, and along the river, and along the other road, is where all the visiting knights, the traveling caravans and stuff like that, that's where they are set up. There is a fenced off, it's not really fencing, it's more like sticks that have been driven into the ground with ropes tied between the sticks. But there is a tournament field that is more towards the river. Okay, so here, hold on. I don't know. Let me zoom in and kind of draw on the screen a little bit. I don't want to go too crazy with it. Okay, so this section here, and this, and then this. Okay, so inside the X here is like reserved for the tournament field. The area outside of that is where all the camps are set up. And each camp has like a couple of tents, room for their horses, just all different kinds of things. Nothing too crazy. That's what you expect, what you would expect. All right, so let me see if I can't find the flavor text where we're at. No, that's battle cards. We don't need all that. I wonder if you get the, okay, that is the game system. Okay. Tracking time. What is that? Oh, okay, that's the round table. All right, here we go. And this is a rehash of maybe something that I already talked about the last time we played, but that was like 3 weeks ago. So I'm gonna redo it just so you guys get it fresh in your mind, and me too. Okay, the year is 510, albeit just so. The 9th day of January, to be precise. The cold, gray, leaden skies of winter mirror the mood of the land. There have been none to wear the crown of Longris since the death of the king Uther 15 years ago, the last high king of Britain. Uther's brother, Aurelius Ambrosius, died 30 years ago. All of Britain suffers under the depredations of rapacious, ambitious barons and opportunistic raiders. You are gathered in Londinium to attend a grand tournament, the first of its kind, shortly after the new year. Skipping over some stuff that's not relevant. It talks about like pre-generated characters and stuff like that. So. This is bound to be one of the great events of your lives, for it is this tournament that a new high king shall be appointed. Or so the high nobility have said. Londinium is far and away the largest settlement in all of Britain, and the most remarkable pit of filth and iniquity you have ever seen. Because now remember, you are technically considered a country knight. You come from Sarum on the Rock in Salisbury, but it's kind of, you can think of it kind of like a rural, like a rural territory. Okay, so filth and iniquity. Okay, its claustrophobic lanes swim with garbage and offal, and the burghers and guildsmen of the city seem to have little respect for the knights or their station. The cads. Okay, so basically, these people, they don't care who you are. It's one of those deals. I don't care if you're a knight. You got to pay. You got to pay like everyone else. That kind of stuff. Okay. I don't know who was just now talking. Or, okay. Yeah, Mason, there's something wrong with your mic. All I heard is.
What about now?
Okay, sounds much better. 100% better.
Sorry. I had said it's like we're in Brooklyn.
Exactly.
Or Queens.
Or Queens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Nashville. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Most nights find cities strange and repellent, with some who feel they go against the natural order of things. That's in italics. Okay. Fortunately for you, along with the other entrants in the Grand New Year's tournament, are encamped outside the city walls. Merchants and thieves mix with the common masses among the ersatz lanes of the colorful tent town, where banners of counts, barons, dukes, and kings flutter limply in the chill breeze. The unwashed masses, and more than a few knights and squires, amuse themselves with bohorts, bear baiting, and other martial games. But most of the lords in attendance are focused on the big prize. The winner of the upcoming tournament will become High King of Britain. The tournament itself... What's that?
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, exactly. Well, some people that don't think they're going to win, I guess. Okay, the tournament itself is to be a grand melee, a sort of mock battle fought with rebated or / blunted weapons, which some praise while others dismissively mock. If you wish, you may go sightseeing inside the city the day before the grand melee, because that's what's going on right now. Um, your squires, their duty to Robert and yourself is to set up the camp. That's not what you do. You don't set up camps. Your squire sets up the camp. You don't. You don't feed the horses. You don't clean the horses. You don't. Uh, you don't clean your armor. You don't. You basically, your job is to do the fighting, and the squire's job is to do all the menial labor, and that's what they're busy doing. You've got like a dozen squires running around doing everything, and the knights are all like, I guess it's some free time. We can go into town if you want. You don't have to. You can stay and do whatever. But um, where was it? You can go sightseeing inside the city. So what they're saying is tomorrow is the tournament. Um, this is let me just interject a little bit here and say tournaments at this era, this time in Britain, are team events. Okay, you have a team uh, which work together to accomplish a certain goal. Um, and just a little in the future, which this is just out of character. In the future, it changes from team, partnership, loyalty, and cooperation into more of an individual sport where it becomes all about the joust or one-on-one combat and stuff like that, where at this point in history it's all about who has the best tactics and who can maneuver together as a cohesive unit. So it would naturally fall upon a tournament would be about team play. So you guys are going to be in a team under Robert, of course, and you guys are, I think they call it a conroy. A conroy is basically another word for unit or team. Okay. Uh, the tournament is to be a grand melee, a sort of mock battle, fought with related weapons. Okay. If you wish, you may go sightseeing inside the city the day before the grand melee, or go shopping in one of Londinium's many open air markets. Um, that's where I'm going to stop and say, what do you want to do?
What are our guild halls like?
What are your what?
What are our guild halls? There's 2 guild halls in town. What are those actually?
Um, usually they're like the Merchants Guild. You can't open up a shop or a stall without paying your due. And then other guilds might be the Teamsters or, uh, but usually a lot of different guilds will function inside of a guild hall. A guild hall is kind of like think of it like an office building with a lot of different companies in it.
All right. Do they have taverns or inns in this town or city, whatever?
Well, you've never been here, so if you'd like, you can go sightseeing and look around and see if there are any taverns and inns. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yep.
Okay. What about you, Gwyneth? Are you going to travel with him?
You want to go, Gordon? You want to come?
Yeah. Somebody's gotta keep me out of trouble. I mean, keep you out of trouble.
That's right. That's right.
Alright.
That's right. Okay, so this is what I'll work you. I'll work you around the town. Okay, so as you stroll the Londinium streets, looking for various inns or what have you, you find yourselves in front of the Grand Cathedral, G. Um, this is a I'm losing my place. Okay, in front. Okay, inevitably find yourself in front of the grand uh, pile of St. Paul's Cathedral, a massive Roman basilica. In the courtyard outside is a remarkable sight: a sword driven into an iron anvil set atop a rock. The rock bears an inscription, but none of the players can read. But you can make an unopposed intrigue roll to recall what it says. Because
Is there someone there I could ask that might be able to read?
Make make that intrigue roll first. But yes, you can make another roll here. Just a second.
Because I got a good appearance. So forget it. Okay, I'll roll. Intrigue. Where?
Skill.
Oh, I found it. I'm not that good at it.
Yeah, most of you shouldn't be. You're fairly young still.
Oh, critical.
I got a
Not
success.
nice. Okay, so you remember without looking. You were looking around for people, but you remember your through history or the stories that have been told that the inscription says it recalls that it says something about whoever pulls the sword from the stone is rightwise king of all of Britain.
All right, I gotta try. I'm gonna try to pull the sword.
Okay, so you walk up to the sword and you try to pull on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Why not? Might as well, right?
that's right. Go ahead and
Lift with your knees.
yeah. Um, Go ahead and make a strength roll. Okay, yeah. So you pull on it, and you got a really good strength, but it doesn't budge.
That was a really bad roll.
Yeah, it's all right. You didn't roll 1, so it's okay. Or 20. I mean, you didn't roll 20. I mean,
Let's give it a try.
I mean, I'm sure I couldn't, but while we're here, I'm sure everyone's trying it.
no, actually, most people are not. They're every time you walk up there, people kind of like stop. They look to see if you're the one, you know. And then as soon as you fail, they just go back to their business. They go they start walking or whatever.
You know what I mean? Like the other knights visiting town. I'm sure at some point during their visit they've tried.
Yeah, maybe. You don't see them around. Okay, so you make this strength. Oh, you don't have a crit. Okay, so you think you got it? Are you even trying? Okay, and then no, it doesn't come out.
I thought I felt it wiggle a little.
It's like all the Marvel characters trying to lift Thor's hammer. You know, they're all trying, but it doesn't budge.
Except for Captain America.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. But okay.
They will continue to look for any tavern.
Yeah. Okay, so everybody, but because you guys are traveling together, we're going to make this a mutual roll. And I've been thinking that Sanson is probably leading the charge here. So go ahead and give me a d20 roll. Or I could roll it automatically on a table that I've got in the game, but yeah, but you could roll. A 5. Do you have any money on you? I can't hear you. I don't know if your volume's down or what.
Well, let me check.
Okay, good deal. You guys might have money. You might not have money.
I have 2 Librams.
Okay. Are they in Libram form? Like, are you carrying 2 gold pieces, or are you carrying a gold and some silver, or how is that broken down?
I was gonna say it would only make sense to have like a gold and some change.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
knights are bad with money, right?
Yes, but
I don't pay for things.
you do pay for things, but you give the money to your squire to go run off and get it.
Oh, then yeah, I have two
Yeah.
two. Both of them are in change form.
Okay. So please note that. What is it? 240 for a Libram?
Sounds right.
Yeah.
Since I was just going to a tavern, I probably wouldn't carry all my lead. I'd probably have
Yeah, it's 240.
Yeah, so go ahead and break that down, how you would like to break it down. I know that.
I'll keep the one in Libram.
So you got 1 gold and a bunch of silver?
Yeah.
Okay. Same with you.
I'd probably be carrying only 1 Libram, so I'm just going into a tavern. I'm not going to go and buy something, so probably carrying 1 out of the 5.
Okay. And are you carrying just 1 coin, or are you going to carry 240 silver?
Oh, can you carry that much silver?
Oh yeah, it's less. It's only about a pound.
Okay, yeah, I probably would.
Okay, so yeah, you'd break it down that way. You could give a peasant like 1 silver, or you could buy a drink in a tavern without having to give them a year's salary. Yeah, I understand.
You probably won't be able to break it.
Okay, so go ahead and roll 2d6. Perfect. Now I need you to roll a. awareness, but I'm going to have you roll it against a number. Okay, your target number is 15, so go ahead and give me an awareness. Okay, so now let me make my roll because it's opposed. Um, oh well, you failed anyway, and I succeeded. Okay, so the next time you look in your pouch, you're missing 5 silver. So just go ahead and deduct 5 silver.
Damn pickpocket.
Somebody snuck in and reached in, and now because you're together, I'm gonna let
Oh,
you, Gwyneth, go ahead and make a roll on awareness as well, but you get a -5
oh.
because it didn't
How
happen
many
to you.
silver?
Just 5.
How many silver is 1 Libra?
240.
Well, I failed.
Okay, so you didn't see it happen either.
Even without the -5, I wouldn't have seen it.
Right. You're looking. You're in awe of the town, looking around. People are bumping into you, all day. Okay, but now, Gwyneth, you go ahead and give me, because you each get one of these events. Go ahead and give me a d20 roll.
Okie doke. A 3.
Ooh, you're pickpocketed too. No, that's not true.
Oh.
Okay. Okay, so technically that's a nothing burger. It just says you spend the whole day wandering the town. Okay. So that's the events.
Well, no news is good news, they say.
That's right. Okay, so basically you do find an inn. There is a I should say you locate an inn. There we go. I was having a hard time with my Okay, give me a second here.
We're gonna find out if they serve drink at this. Probably could get something to eat too. Get our energy up for the tournament.
Yeah. So it's called the Boar's Rump. And the sign, I mean, you don't read that, but what you see on the sign is a boar facing away from you.
See it as a backside.
The backside, right? Yeah, and so I assume you go inside and you find it's overflowing with people. mostly we'll call them commoners, but they're basically like merchants or laborers or what have you. But yeah, everybody's having a good time. There's a bard singing, you know, um, about um, how well, hold on, I'm trying to close this. Okay, yeah, there's a bard singing about a lady's virtue being stolen in the night. You don't really know the words or never heard the song before, but it's a good tune. It's a good melody. You know, um, and yeah, there's room at the bar. There's stools, but there's also tables. There's a fire going. What would you like to do? It's not a it is an inn, so it does have rooms for rent. But you wouldn't stay at this inn. You have your tent city that you're sleeping in. But there's nothing stopping you from getting a few drinks or maybe a meal.
Yeah, going up to the bar and
Yeah, we like just got into town, right?
Yeah, it's still
Set up and
fairly
started
early.
wandering.
It's still it's midday. It's around
Yeah,
11, something like that.
it's I think it's time for some nights to get some lunch.
some roast fowl.
We're big, we're sizable boys. I bet our tummies are rumbling.
Yeah, we're gonna get a big lunch and a couple of tankards of ale.
Yes.
And I'd
Okay,
probably be
so
talking
a night's meal, which would be it's not like a feast or anything, but it's a good amount of food, is 1 denarii.
how much silver is one to know?
It's one denarii is one silver. It's gold and
And
silver,
two
so it's librum and denarii. Yeah.
tankard of ale.
So,
And a bottle of wine would be 3 denarii.
No,
uh,
tankard of ale, no wine.
honestly,
If you don't get wine, you're going to be drinking mead or something like that as part of the food.
All right,
honestly, Samson, I don't think you would notice that missing 5 in a bag of 200 when you just go to pay.
Right, right. You
yeah, it
just
would be hard to notice. Yeah.
exactly.
How good are we at math?
Pretty poor. Pretty poor. You can count to 10.
Can I?
You got 10 fingers.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think we'd notice that.
Yeah, I'll get some meat and a night's meal.
Okay. That's that 1 denarii.
Any good looking women in here?
There are no ladies. There are no ladies in here. There are wenches.
Wenches are alright. I mean, you gotta remember I'm a flirtatious type of guy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's wenches. There's your serving wench, definitely. Um she's buxom.
I'm gonna make the pasta.
Let's see.
Okay.
Okay, no, I am not the kind of person who's going to get heavily drunk at 11 a.m. So I'll just have the one mead.
For now.
As part of your dinner or your lunch.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was considering if I should get several, but I have an 18 temperate, so I'm thinking he's not the type to get drunk at lunch.
No, wait, we got a lot of time. We could get some at night.
Yeah, but 5 o'clock and all that.
Okay. bear with me. Took a while. Okay. Um, oh, here we go.
So should I make a flirting check?
Yeah, hold on. I was just showing you who you're talking to.
Or-
There you go. You got the
Okay.
barmaid, and yeah, there's definitely you can make. Is that what it is? Flirting. Yep. Go ahead and give me a flirting roll. All right. Yeah, she definitely smiles and giggles at what you have to say. Um,
Come, after you're done serving, come and join me.
oh, look around, my lord. We're very busy. The tournament is tomorrow, and the town is uh, full of life, and I couldn't. What I'm trying to say is we're very busy, and I'm not going to be able to uh, take time out for you, even though I would love to.
Well, what time do you get off for work?
Uh, Around uh, a few hours after the sun goes down.
All right, you want to go do something?
What did you have in mind?
Well, we could watch the sunset or
Well,
stare at the stars.
I'll be working after the sunset.
Or we could go see the stars in there.
Um, okay. Yeah, meet me back here a couple hours after sunset.
Sounds like a date.
Okay.
He'll go back to drinking his meat and eating.
Yeah. Okay. Here we'll go ahead and bring that in. Okay, so you guys eat. You guys make get your fill of drink and food.
So, Glennis, maybe we should go sightseeing a little more, and then tonight later on we'll come back, have a few drinks.
Yeah, sounds good. So let's see. We saw a pub, and we saw the sword. That's what, like half of London?
That's right.
We could check out the priory. See what they're about.
I've been there before, Uri.
I can't read the things here because you got the woman over. Do you move her over a little bit?
I got nothing on the screen.
You got the picture of the woman there, and she's blocking all the places.
Go ahead and refresh. Go ahead and refresh because I've deleted her already.
All right. All right, we got it. How about the White Tower? Let's go see what that's about. Check it out.
Okay, so what we're going to do is it's just going to be like a tour of Londinium. So let me just go ahead and read the notable locations and basically give you everything you need to know, I think.
All right.
Londinium is the first, largest, and most famous city in Britain. As all lettered folk know, Prince Aeneas, a survivor of the sack of Troy, founded the Roman tribe. His great grandson, Brutus, led a seaborne migration of Trojan exiles westward and eventually settled on this island. The natives called their land Albion, but the conquerors changed its name to Brutus Land, later corrupted to Britain. Brutus built the city Troy Nova, or New Troy, later Trinovantes, as his capital. According to Geoffrey of Monmouth, this occurred at the same time that the priest Eli was ruling in Judea and the Ark of the Covenant was captured by the Philistines sometime between BC. Okay, thousands of years BC. Okay, 1,000 years later, shortly before the coming of Julius Caesar, King Lud fortified the city and changed its name to Caerlund, or Fort of Lund. And that's important because I think Lund is actually F. Remember Lud's Lund or Lud, because there's Lud's castle. Remember that kind of which is right next to the tournament field. Okay, when the Romans eventually conquered the land, its name was corrupted to Caerlundon, and eventually Londinium, or London, as it is sometimes abbreviated. To the native Cymric, the Romans added their own typical urban buildings, a legionary camp, a basilica, baths, and temples. They also built the famous London Bridge, which is the only bridge that spans any navigable portion of the River Thames. Many of those Roman buildings were later repurposed as churches, guild halls, and palaces. Two castles protect Londinium. At the west end is the Lud's Castle, built over the old site of Caerlund. At the city's eastern edge is the White Tower, originally built by the Roman emperor. The massive keep and castle serve as a royal residence and refuge of last resort in times of war or uprising. Londinium is large and influential enough to be a political power in its own right. A city senate runs it and determines internal affairs, such as judging its citizens in the city court rather than the king's or nobleman's court. The Senate appoints leaders called praetors for specific tasks. The city rules over its surrounding countryside, called County Thamesmouth, and also has its own permanent garrison, which also serves as night watch and firemen. Although adequate for manning the walls, the standing army of footmen is inferior in the field, since Londinium has an expansionist ambition. Its relatively small military force is usually proven sufficient. Okay. Gates.
I got a question
Go
before
ahead.
you go on.
Yep.
As knights, would we be able to check out the White Tower, like enter?
Most likely you could visit, but you would only visit like the ground floor because you would need an audience to get like permission to go anywhere else. But yeah, you could go.
That's
You could go
fine.
into the ground
I,
floor.
I just wanted to bring the lady over there. She probably never seen capsule or tower.
Um, she's probably never been inside, but she's seen it from the outside. I mean, everybody, you can see it from pretty much anywhere in the town, really.
Yeah,
It,
that's the wall. Probably.
yeah, it's tall though, and so yeah, you could. I mean, she's been here all of her life, probably, so she's probably seen. I don't know. You'd have to ask her. Okay, the gates. The city gates are large, double wide doors with towers beside them and defensive works above and around. The guards close and bar them every night at sundown, not opening them for anyone or anything. Near most of the gates are small postern doors, more easily defended, where people can sometimes come in after dark and perhaps squeeze in the horses as well. So you might have a little difficulty getting to her a couple hours after sundown. Okay, markets. The gates all have markets on the inside of the walls. Most of them cater to the daily needs of the local people, including buying of excess crops in the fall. The market at Watergate is the international market where merchants sell luxury goods. Okay, yeah, so the guards are going to close the gate at when the sun goes down. And if you're inside the walls at that time, then you can go visit the inn or the tavern or whatever. But that would be out of protocol, or out of what would you call it? Your Lord Robert probably wouldn't appreciate you not showing up to the tournament in the following day prepared. So that's a choice you might have to make.
I was just trying to find a place to bring her to so she could have a good time.
Well, in that case, I will not be joining you for a late drink, Samson.
Yeah, so Sanson, in the morning you're going to be exhausted because you're going to have not been able to prepare yourself for the tournament if you stay inside the walls.
Yeah, I'm not going to go inside it. I'll find somewhere else. What would be a good place to bring her?
We can't bring her anywhere because she is currently in the inside the wall. Right?
Yeah. So
and
if you want the girl, you have to be exhausted tomorrow, whether your date goes well or not.
She's inside.
She doesn't have her own place. She doesn't leave the inn.
Well, she's at work.
I know,
until sundown.
I said she doesn't have her own home. She stays within the walls.
Yes, she stays within the walls.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a done deal.
So are you going to let her know that maybe on the
Yeah,
following
I'm not
night?
letting her know.
I
Not
mean, you
right
didn't
now
know.
that
You
I
didn't know.
keep saying
But Sanson, wouldn't it be such a grand gesture if you took such a risk to spend time with her? Wenches love those kinds of gestures.
yeah, but I gotta be ready for the tournament. So.
Okay, so this is where a die roll is going to come in. And this is going to be either it might be indulgent or temperate. Um, um, Lustful or chaste. Your choice. Um, if you want, you can roll. You can try to fight your urges by rolling against chaste, or you can try to be temperate. Or if you fail, then we'll roll against lustful or indulgent, depending on which one you rolled against. And this is your small head taking over.
Yeah, okay. Right, Chase. Probably
Chaste? Okay.
fail.
Okay. Okay. So now roll against lustful. You have a threshold of 7. Guess what? You're a okay. You failed that too. Okay. So you can choose, and so you chose to be chaste. Now you don't get a check on either one of those, but just FYI, just as a reminder, that would have been a good opportunity to use a passion of maybe loyalty or homage. Just FYI, because the reason why you're doing it is to help your lord. So to invoke a
But
passion.
I got a choice anyway. It didn't work out. It
Yeah,
worked out
it,
pretty
it,
well.
it worked out. But I'm just saying, after the fact, I'm letting you know that you could have used a passion. Okay,
I was
so
gonna ask you, sorry, but since you work at night and your clothes locked in here after that, it's gonna be difficult. I gotta go to a tournament.
right. Okay. Well, maybe sometime that you next time you pass through Londinium, you can visit me, and maybe I can get someone to cover for me or something. But right now, it's
Yeah,
very busy in
I'll go.
town, and they need me to work.
I would love that. Hopefully, we could rendezvous.
And my name is Ildi, by the way.
All right. My name is Samson.
Oh,
I'm one of the knights for at the tournament.
well, good luck, and I hope you win.
All right. Thank you.
Become the next
I
king.
hope I win too.
Um,
So we're gonna go back to sightseeing until we need to go to sleep for be
right,
ready for the tournament.
right, 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 right. Okay, so you guys make it back to camp. Camp is nice and set up. You've got people practicing outside. Um, there is a group that you walk by. You might recognize their heraldry. Um, they're fighting as a convoy for a certain person who's pretty famous. So you guys can go ahead and make a recognize roll. I think that's a thing. Yep, make a recognize roll.
That's a good roll.
Oh, okay. So, who is this? Sanson makes it. Okay.
Hey, is that Merlin guy again?
No, this is a group of knights that are fighting against, not against each other. They're striking dummies, right? There are like these wooden mannequins, and they're striking them with their blunted swords. And remember, this is early in the evening before everybody retires. It's still daylight, but the sun is low, and you it's kind of chilly outside. Remember, this is hell. It's January. It's freezing probably. Um, but they're striking, and there's this guy directing them, and his name is King Lot. Lot. Sanson recognizes him. Uh, but you can overhear him directing his knights to, he says something like, "You're not striking it hard enough. We do not give any quarter in this tournament. You will strike them full force. And I do not want to see any compassion." And they go, "Yes, my lord." Whack! And they're hitting the mannequins, and
Oh, he's a bad king then. What kingdom does he rule? From what I know.
King Lot. Oh, now you're gonna make me look it up.
Well, he rules a lot.
That's right. He rules a lot. Like what territory does he rule? I don't know. You don't own a map. But yeah, he has a territory, I'm sure. Let's see.
Camelot, maybe.
Camelot. It's that, that's probably correct. Um but I don't know if it even tells me. I hate to do this, but I'm going to
Well, tell me if he's Saxon or Cimmerian. Do you know that?
King Lot rules the kingdom of Lothian and Orkney, located in the northern part of Britain.
All right, so he's not Saxon.
No, Saxons are not invited to this tournament.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no Saxons here.
Yeah, screw those guys.
He's definitely a bad king.
I'm trying to see if there is. Yeah, see, Lothian is all the way at the top of the map, above the wall.
In Cumbria? Right? Oh, no, not Cumbria. Gory.
Orkney. Lothian and Orkney. Which is, I think it's also up there somewhere.
That's a weird name for a castle of maidens.
That's right. Yeah, you might want to visit there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, he's come way south to help win the crown or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, he traveled a long way.
he did travel a long way, and he plans to win, or he wants to win bad. Yeah, and he's basically not whipping his knights, but if he was, you could almost imagine that he's the kind of king that would whip his knights. But he's amongst more civilized knights, so he's trying to be civil.
Now, if he wasn't a king, I would put him in his place.
Right. That's cool. All right, so you make it back to your camp. There's a little fire. There's food already laid out for you guys for your dinner. Robert is there with his knights, and they're not really practicing. He's giving a little speech, and now that you guys walk up, he kind of welcomes you too. He says, "Come in, grab your food." I was just telling everyone that I have faith that we are going to show ourselves well on the field. We will not, or I should say, we'll fight with honor, and we will do our best, and we will let God's will determine if we are going to be victorious or not. And one day of training, and then he kind of glances over at King Lot's camp and then glances back. He goes, one day of training is not going to change what you've learned through your entire life. So just put everything you know and everything that you've learned up to this date to good use. Get a good night's sleep, rest your muscles, and be prepared to be victorious, because I believe we will be.
Lord, my Lord, do you know this King Lot?
I've heard of him.
We have to be careful with him. They might
Why?
play
What?
good.
What? Why do we need to be careful with him?
We overheard them saying, for their knights to be honorable in the fighting. So we gotta watch out for them.
Wait, he said to be dishonorable?
Yeah, he was telling them to show no mercy and no quarter and stuff like that.
Okay, but did he? Okay. There's a difference between being no mercy and no quarter than being dishonorable. Did he say to be dishonorable?
What I'm saying is his knights might not show chivalry.
Okay. So what you're saying is they might take it to the extreme. Is that kind of what you're saying? Like they'll
They might try to
what I'm
hurt
trying to
them.
get at is you're making an accusation against King Lot that he's going to be dishonorable or plans to be dishonorable, and that's kind of a serious claim, which if that's what you're saying, then we will definitely keep our eyes on him.
I mean, he might try to have his knights might strike when they're down and try to hurt them. The way he's pushing his knights to give no quarter it seemed like he was.
That's absolutely not dishonorable.
I mean, the winner of the fight is recognized as the High King. I would be more concerned if they were showing mercy. This is kind of high stakes.
Striking somebody when they're down is not dishonorable, but I think in the rules, I think if you surrender, i.e., give up, then they can't strike you. But if you're still fighting and you're still trying to stand up to engage them, they can strike you while you're on the ground.
Yeah, just don't get knocked down. Skill issue.
And I hear him, I mean, I've overheard him say things like strike hard, but I expect everyone to strike hard anyway. That's not something out of the ordinary. But if you're saying like, what exactly would be dishonorable? Like poisoning us before we go to the field? That would be definitely dishonorable. Sabotaging our equipment before we went on the field? That would be dishonorable. But fighting hard and fighting to win, that's not dishonorable. That's a good knightly trait.
I'm just saying it sounded like he was
He might take it to the
like
extreme.
like Karate Kid, how that guy forces people to hurt people. That's what he sounded like to me.
Okay, so
Not
they
a
might,
character,
so they might,
but
they might strike,
try to injure.
deliberately try to hurt people and not just try to win, but try to win it at. Well, we are striking each other with metal sticks, so we there is a chance that you will be injured in this fight. But you're saying he's not gonna have any remorse. He's gonna try to go all out. Okay,
It's
well,
just it's just the thoughts that came to me when I heard what he was saying.
okay. I know it's okay, and he looks at everybody sitting around the fire eating their gruel or whatever they're eating, and he says, "Okay, Sanson is observed." And he's kind of pointing at you, but talking to them. He says, "Sanson has observed that King Lot's Conroy might be a little bit over exuberant or hyper aggressive. So let's keep that in mind tomorrow during the tournament. So let's not concern ourselves with that tonight, but let's keep that in mind tomorrow. Thank you for your counsel, and let's eat and let's get some rest."
Sounds good.
All right. So everybody is eating their chicken legs and their bread, and everybody's
The
got
yard of ale.
ale, and I don't know about a yard, but maybe 6 inches or something. But yeah, you guys got some ale, and so all the other knights are there. If you want to converse with them, you're welcome to. Otherwise, they all are basically staying to themselves and getting ready to bed down, or you know. Sir Gwyneth, Sir Pyres comes up to you. You don't go up to him. He actually kind of scooches over on his wooden log, that you guys are sitting on, and he kind of scooches and makes sure that he's sitting fairly near you. And he says, "I haven't had a chance to say this, but congratulations on your newborn, or your child, and I think you'll make a good father."
Well, thank you. Hopefully she'll grow up to be a little less hairy.
Okay, Sir Kenrick overhears this conversation, and he says, "Sir Gwyneth, I don't even know if he is the father."
Hold on.
But who am I to say? I wouldn't know.
I think I need to roll against proud.
Okay.
Is that actually considered an insult?
Yeah. I would say so.
I'm not going to give you a loss of honor for not reacting to this. But if you want to react to it, you can. It is an insult, but is it one that is a loss of honor? Everyone knows that Sir Kenrick was sweet on her.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, he's saying it again, that kind of thing. He would, he's jealous. He's just jealous.
Man.
Everybody already knows that. But if you want to take it to the next level, you can.
Oh no, it's still only at words. Just Londinium sure is run down. Saw these barking dogs around here.
I like that.
And I just turn away from him.
Okay. He goes back to eating.
I'm going to tell all the other knights good luck with the tournament.
Oh, good luck. Thank you. Yeah. Well, we'll be proud to stand beside you.
Wait a second. I forgot that he was sweet on her too. That means not only did I steal his kill in the battle, I then stole his girl.
Right. He has something against you. Let's just say that.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, so the evening goes uneventful from that point on. No matter, you're actually, this is weird, you actually have a tent that you are all sleeping in. The four of you are all sleeping in a tent. Sir Edern is actually sleeping with Robert in Robert's tent. So there's two main tents. The squires are sleeping outside the tent with the horses and maintaining the fire and taking turns, making sure nothing's burning down or whatever. But actually keeping guard, because you don't know what lengths the other teams might go to, and also, being that this is Londinium, it's known to have thieves and pickpockets and stuff like that. So there is going to be a squire guard on post. And every little camp has a squire guard. And every now and then, like the adjacent squires will kind of stand next to each other to keep each other company for a couple hours before they change shifts or whatever. And you can hear, even though the sun's down, you hear the fire crackling, but you can hear there are people up at all hours of the evening, either talking or saying things like, "I can't sleep because I'm nervous for tomorrow," or that kind of stuff. So there's people up all night long.
Okay. I'm going to just tell Guinness, if he ever crosses the line, just know I have your back. I'll make sure no one interferes.
And Sir Pyre says, "Hey, I got your back too." Nobody likes Kenrick. Hey, and if now that you're a married man, if you know somebody that's looking for a wife, remember my sister's available.
Oh, I think I might. Sorry, my headset had been acting up again. I had meant to say I've got yours, or I've got yours too, Sanson. But yeah, I will keep that in mind.
Who's your sister?
You've met her. Let me bring us back.
I think I think Sir Aubrey was looking for a wife. I haven't seen him in a while.
I think it's Estranor. See the little text on the right? Lady Estranor is Kenrick's sister. He is looking to marry her off. Yeah, Lady Estranor. I think she's got a card, actually.
She's pretty hot.
She's doing all right. She's definitely doing all right. Let's see her. Ladies. Lady Estranor.
I'll tell him I'm interested.
Okay, well, here it is. The younger sister of Kenrick. She is meek. With their father dead, because he fought in the Battle of Netley Marsh with Robert and died. She is to live at Kenrick's manor under his care until such time as he chooses a husband. She is clearly in need. She has an appearance of 16, just FYI.
Yeah, no.
And a fairly sizable dowry.
Yeah, I'll tell him I'm interested.
Oh, are you?
I've been looking for a wife.
Okay, well,
I'll probably have to get permission from Sir Robert.
right. Well, yeah, we can talk to him. Maybe if he's king, that'd be even better. All right, so let's sleep on it, and we'll worry about that.
When we get back.
Yeah, when we get back.
So,
I'll introduce. I'll make introductions, and I'll find a way to get you two together privately. Something. What were you gonna say?
Speaking of sleep, it sounded kind of like we're a bit tight on space in this tent. So my question is, are we?
It is a big tent.
Okay, I was gonna say, are we sleeping side by side like sardines, or are we in like a square with our heads by each other's feet, going around the edge of the tent?
Yeah, the second. There's like a little there's an area in the middle where the tent pole is, and that's where a lot of your gear is in your chests, and then on the outside you've got not a cot, but definitely quite a few furs and blankets and stuff like that along the outer perimeter of the tent. The tent that you're in is mostly round, but it's probably a good 10 to 15 feet across.
Yeah, I also tell that knight that's marrying her, I'll say, I like to court her because I like to find out if she likes me as well.
Right. Well, we'll definitely make introductions. I'll be happy to do that. You seem like a very upstanding knight and a good friend. So maybe if but I'm not sure about the whole the Christianity thing, but we'll see.
Well, I'm not Christian.
That's what I mean. Maybe if you denounce your pagan gods and become faithful to Christ, it'll make everything easier. But otherwise, I think we can work around it. We'll figure it out. You seem like a good guy. Maybe a little misguided, but that's okay.
I would never go Christianity. My true devotion is to the pagan god.
Right, I got you. But you have so many of them. You have a god for like every little thing.
Well, not every little thing, major thing.
Well, you know what they say about quantity and quality.
That's right.
as I start to fiddle with my crucifix.
That's what I believe. I was brought up believing.
Okay, so in the morning, everybody has woke up before the sun comes up. There's like a mist in the air, and it's very, very cold. You know, a bunch of these knights and squires are all huddled around the fire, trying to get themselves warm. And you can hear the crowds are starting to form to watch this tournament. Also, the knights are all getting ready. You can see them all starting to get their armor on, and everything is going as planned.
I asked my squire, is my armor ready?
Your armor is ready to go.
Thank you.
In the morning of the tournament, the melee field is staked out and occupies several acres stretching between Newgate and Ludgate, with Watling Street and Fleet Street. Okay. Okay, all participating knights are divided up into teams denoted by a red or blue cloth tied around their right arm. You are part of the blue team and ride with King Leo de Grants of Cameliard as your leader. Okay, so King Leodegrad is in charge of your blue team, but Robert has a convoy of him and all of his knights, if that makes sense. Because there's a lot more teams than just two. There's like a dozen teams, and so they split them in half and put some on one side and some on the other. Okay, usually the procedure of running a tournament melee with all the marshals running around, making sure that, there's no dirt or animals on the fighting field, making sure that, not dirt, but, like boulders or, trash. That's what I meant. So there's marshals running around. There's heralds walking around making announcements like, the teams will meet in 1 hour at, and we will begin. And they're not talking to you guys. They're talking to the crowds that are starting to form to watch. But it's normally a melee, and it's run broadly the same as a regular mass battle. But for now, follow the guidelines set out before the group's first taste of battle, which is not really your first taste, but they are run as a series of discrete encounters corresponding to the battle's turn. The longer the battle lasts, the more encounters you may fight. Although, okay. So each round of the battle will, just game mechanic wise, just to let you know, there is a deck of cards called battle cards, and you draw cards to determine what kind of encounters are available. You'll actually get multiple cards. And your conroy can choose which encounter they want to take, because they might see a group of guys on the right, you might see a group of guys on the left, and you decide to go after the group of guys on the right. And then you would fight that encounter. And then in the next round of the battle, you'll have other choices that you can make. And they're not always the battle cards. You might not always choose that. You might choose to retire, which basically means you forego any encounters and you get a chance to rest and regroup. There's something called morale. When your morale reaches zero, well, let me rephrase this. You have a number on your morale, and every time you take an encounter, your morale goes down. It's not because you lost, it's just from the exhaustion of fighting. That's all it really represents. It's kind of like exhaustion, but they call it morale. And you would retire to the rear, foregoing any encounters, but that allows you to regain some of your lost morale. And each encounter card has a morale cost on it, and you can make that decision. Okay, so that's a little inside baseball. Okay, whether battle or tournament, knights side and fight in units called conroys, which consist of 5 to 15 knights, plus their squires. King Leodegrace himself leads your conroy. So the king is beside Robert, and he decided that he chose Robert's conroy, which is a great honor to have this king fight alongside you guys. Just one of the many making up the blue team. So you need to generate a morale score for your conroy by selecting a passion that your knight is fighting for. Now, every knight can choose something different. Okay? So, like, one person can choose chivalry, his passion of homage lord, or another one could choose family, or whatever passion you feel is appropriate. You can, and usually you'll choose the biggest one. But the problem with that, and what happens is, we're going to average everybody's passion value. But if every knight in the conroy chooses the same passion, you get a +5? I think it's +5. But basically you get a plus if you all choose the same one. And a lot of times that's a good thing. Even though it might not be your best, it might help the team out the best.
Aquinas, do you have a homage passion?
This could be honor if you wish for an opportunity to demonstrate your prowess. Homage if you are sworn to service, or even adoration if your beloved is present, which he's not. Remember that all passions must come from the same court. Selecting a passion for morale does not preclude using the passion later for inspiration.
Guinness, winners. Do you have a homage passion?
Yeah, everybody starts with homage.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
All the Salisbury Knights do.
What's your homage
Add 5 to the value. Yep.
rating?
Okay.
You can do homage lord even though Robert might not have homage Lord Robert. He might have homage Lord King Leodegrace, but I can almost guarantee you he doesn't. Um,
What's your homage value, Bunny?
What's an homage value point?
No, your passive.
well, this is out of character. You guys
Okay,
can talk
it's a
about
16.
this. You can talk about that.
Okay, mine's 20, so that'll help us.
That's pretty darn
And who's our
awesome.
other knight? The other knight in our Conroy, does he have homage?
Yeah, there's 8 of you. There's 9 of you if you count the King Leodegrace, which I probably could grab him real quick.
I guess we'll use homage. I'll use homage and we'll get a bonus. So we'll use that.
It's fine by me.
Yeah, let me get him on the screen here. Okay, there's King Leodegrace. Yeah, if you guys want to use homage, just give me a total. And here, Mason, if you would please do this for me. I'm going to drop some numbers on you, so that, and then just total them up while I give them to you. Okay?
Yeah. Okay.
I got to find all my peoples. Okay, so Sir Kenrick, Sir Pyres, Sir Edern, Sir Leo, and Dame Aspara all have 15. So that's 5 times 15.
Okay.
Plus Gwyneth and plus Sanson and Gwyneth.
Okay, plus 16 for me, and plus what? You had a 20?
I got 20.
Yep, the other 20. Leodegrace is not using homage. He's using honor, but it also has a 15.
Oh, was honor an option?
Yeah, honor's an option.
Oh.
Well, to get the bonus, we all have to use the same pattern.
But you're not going to.
Okay.
Yeah, there's not gonna be a bonus because Leodegrace and Robert are in the group and they don't have homage.
We could use honor.
You can
What's your honor?
You could do everyone's honor if you want.
Yeah, I got 15 or something.
And if everybody uses honor, then you will get the plus 5.
Yeah, let's look at honor then, because I've got a 19 honor.
I got 15, so that's good.
Okay.
And this way we get a plus 5, so you still have a 20.
No. It's not plus 5 individually. It's plus 5 to the end result. Everyone else has a 15.
Okay, and I got a 15.
Yeah, so we end up 4 higher this way.
Yeah, I figured.
Believe it or not. So those first 5 still have 15, you said.
Correct.
And then I have 19.
Yep.
Sanson has 15.
Right.
Robert
and Leodegrace both have 15s as well.
Okay. And then because we all did honor, there's a 5?
No, you average it first.
Okay, average it first.
And then add 5 at the end.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divided by 9. Okay.
Yeah, there's 9 of you guys.
So 15?
That's right.
Or do we round up?
You round off in this game.
Okay, so 15.
Yeah, so you guys got a 15.
Plus 5.
Plus 5 is a 20.
So you have a 20. So keep track of that. You have a 20 morale. Okay, and like I said, each encounter the number will go down unless you do a fall to the rear, and there's no honor loss to fall to the rear. It just means you're regrouping, reforming for your next charge or whatever. Okay, find the average score, add 5 to the value. That this is the Conroy's morale score. Helps determine when your team can push forward into more fighting and when it must retire to regroup.
Yeah, so Homage would have ended up with a 16 and no +5, so honor was the way to go.
Yeah, I got it.
I wanted to double check.
Yeah.
I was curious.
Yeah, it's good to know that because this is the same system you use when you actually go into a real battle. The higher the convoy's value, the more time that you can spend on the field to acquire more glory and captives. Since this is I can't tell you this. It's just to familiarize you with the function. Okay. And so, with great fanfare of trumpets sounded from the city walls, the two sides ride forth onto the battle. Everyone is on your war horse. Just so you know, everybody's on a horse.
I thought this was melee.
It is a melee. Melee means more than one-on-one.
No, I mean it's not. You're saying it's not horseback.
Yeah, everybody's on a horseback. Yeah, a grand melee means there's more than one against one. When you have a team against a team, it's considered a melee. Whether you're on a horse, you're on a dragon, you're on foot, it doesn't matter. It's still a melee. Okay. 20 is pretty high, actually, to be honest. Okay, so I keep losing which thing I'm supposed to be looking at. Tournament melee. Here we go. Battles are fought in turns, which each turn represents about an hour of time. Okay, just so you know, it's about an hour. Each turn sees the Conroy fighting a single encounter or possibly facing a special kind of encounter called an opportunity. Okay, so I have 3. Pull out and set them aside. Okay, set them aside. So if we draw those cards, it just won't. In battle, the tournament melees alike. Inform nearly all. For the first turn of this tournament melee, the encounter is with a group of knights from the northern kingdom of Gore. Nearby is a large convoy of knights from another northern kingdom called Lothian. None other than the fearsome King Lot himself leads this group of hardened knights. Capturing Lot would bring tremendous glory and great wealth to any knight who succeeded in that desperate chance. But the odds are such an opportunity are low. Okay. Okay, it says set it aside, but that's not really what I'm doing. I'm drawing it and letting you see this. Um, I don't know if I'm supposed to show you, but I'm going to show you that. Knights of Lothian, right? This card should appear on your screen. It says an extra large convoy of men from King Lot's kingdom of Lothian. Not only are there more of them, they strike harder than any other knight. Okay, and then there's also Knights of Gore, also from the north. Stern men from the kingdom of Gore, far to the north. These knights may look a bit archaic, but they fight as well as any knights. Okay, what they're trying to say is these knights look like they're fighting with last year's armor. You know, they're not up to the times, you know, they have older stuff. And an opportunity. Okay, there is an opportunity here. Fight the enemy commander. Okay. One of the enemy flank commanders, Lot, stands apart from his division with their picked bodyguards surrounding them. This is a chance to capture a high-ranking noble. Okay, so these are three choices that you guys have, right? You got Knights of Lothian, Knights of Gore, or directly the enemy commander. Now, if you look at the bottom of the card, it says morale. Okay, so you have to have a certain morale to be able to take on that card. What's kind of good about this is that you have a 20 morale, so you can do any one of these. But just know that certain certain encounters might be a little bit harder than others. Now, there should be, I think I put the battle card. Okay, here we go. So which one would you like to choose?
I think we need to go for the commander.
Yeah, normally King Leodegrace would make the decision, but because you guys are the players, I'm going to let you guys make that decision.
I'll let Gwyneth make the decision.
Okay.
I think the commander.
It says give the players the chance to decide. They basically are leaning on you, basically. This doesn't make sense. Hold on. Because these cards should be double-sided. They should give me... Okay. I got it. So, yeah, in the Knights of Lothian, it says there are as many knights as there are in your convoy, basically. And then the Gore is... there are as many Knights of Gore as there are you guys. And then in the Commander one, which you chose, I suppose, right?
Yes.
So I'm just going to close all of these. Okay, so go ahead and deduct 14 from your morale. It's the very first thing that happens.
Oh, it costs 14.
Right.
So we have 6 remaining?
You have 6.
Okay.
which is fine. It just means that you'll probably have to retire in the next round to regroup your.
Yeah. So we can gain some back
You can gain some back.
potentially. Okay, that's fair.
There are 1.5 as many bodyguards as there are your group. So 9 would go to 14, if my math is right. Or is it 13? I don't even know. I think it's 14 because it's 4.5. So I would add 5. So 14. So there are 14 of them. And there are 9 of you guys. Starting with those that have the highest glory. Wait. There are half as many bodyguards as there are players. They double team the player knights if possible. Right, because there's more of them. Starting with those that have the highest glory. There is no time for chivalric niceties. Okay.
I got 2,377 currently.
To fight the commander, each player knight must first defeat their own opponent.
Oh, but before we do that, I'm sorry. You have to make a battle skill roll to choose that card.
Okay. How do we do that?
Could that be anyone
Everybody.
from the card?
Everybody can make a battle skill roll. It says tell players that they may attempt to default encounter battle skill. If anyone survives, then you now have the possibility to fight Lothian. Oh, okay, back up. Gore is the choice. If you make if any one of you makes the battle roll, then you have the opportunity to choose Lothian, but if you critical, then you can choose the commander.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
hey,
make
we're
roll.
all learning here.
I got a bad battle, so I'll let you.
No, everybody can roll. Everybody can roll.
I got a bad rating.
I almost fumbled.
Okay, so Sanson succeeds.
Sanson.
So now you can choose either Gore or Lothian.
You want to go for Lothian again?
Lothian is part of King Lot's group, but it's not the bodyguard. It's just another one of his convoys.
You want to go after Lothian again, or the other one? The Gore.
Lothians are the ones that are striking a little harder, and the Knights of Gore look like they have bad equipment, or not bad, just old, outdated, or the style is bad. It's still effective. It's just it's an old style.
Yeah.
I know, right?
I think the smart thing is to fight the Knights of Gore, but if we can beat the Lothians, I feel like they might be, some more glory in that one.
It says, note, this procedure is slightly modified from the standard battle, but we're not worrying about that. Okay, it says, if everyone fails, then you have to fight Gore. But not everyone failed.
I mean, the fact that we had to roll for it means we should probably pick Lothian, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably more glory
Yeah.
for fighting the Lothians.
we're not expecting. I'm not expecting to win the tournament, so I'm just gonna get as much glory as I can. Yeah, let's do the Lothians.
Perfect.
I'm not expecting to win, but I'm gonna get as close as I can.
It's an extra large group of men. So they don't equal you, they 1.5 you.
Yeah. And so we only take away 13
That's correct.
morale?
That's right. So you're at
Okay.
7.
Uh-oh.
Yep. He dropped out. No big deal. He'll be back. No, I lied. I'm learning as we go. I learned again.
I lost connection.
Yeah, we noticed. It's all right. But I lied. You don't lose 13. Okay, so you're at 20, right?
Yeah.
Okay. You have a minimum value of 13 to be able to take that. Right? So you meet the requirement. Now roll 2 die 6, that's how much you lose.
Sanson, you want to roll one of those and I'll roll one? That sounds good. Which one did we decide?
Lothian.
So we lose 3.
Right. So you have more lasting power than just 1 hour. Okay. So I've been meaning to shrink your counters down a little bit so that I can organize them a little bit better. I made a little battlefield over on the right side. It's super small. I'm going to put you all in a line so that I can put opponents against you. Okay. Who has the highest glory?
I think Sanson.
I only got
No.
2,000.
Well, Robert's got like 4,500.
Oh, well, I meant between the two of us.
Yeah, I'm with you. Leota Grace has a pretty high glory.
Yeah.
Sir Leo has quite a high glory. And Dame Aspara actually has quite a big glory. Wait, is there 14 of them? Okay, so Sir Edern has the next highest glory. Okay, so these are the ones that are going to get double teamed. And you guys are going to get single teamed. Is that a word? Mano y mano. That's what you're going to.
Single team, dude. Fight one opponent.
Yeah. Just trying to make room for myself. Okay, there we go. Let me see if I've got tokens for these guys. Gray Knight, nope. How about starter tokens? Knight of Lothian. There we go. Copy. Let's bring him. You're going to love this token.
Yeah, I wanted to put their king in his place anyway.
I know, right? Okay. So that's these guys. Now, can I...
The one question: if we dispatch ours, can we help the other knights that are being?
Oh, of course. Yeah, of course.
All right, so
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you dispatch yours, then one of them is going to have to bleed over to you. Yeah, absolutely. You'll pull somebody off of somebody. Um, 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 um. Okay, these tokens are not linked to character sheets. Strangely enough, I have their character sheet already pulled up, but I would hope that tokens would be connected, but they're not. Okay, so let me get caught up to where I was at. Leodegrus signals a charge, and every knight in the convoy puts spurs to his horse. So, now, as you guys charge forward, each player must normally select a posture for the ensuing battle turn. But because of the mounted charge, they automatically select the valorous posture, meaning that they fight in 2 combat rounds. Each checks their valorous trait at this point as you join combat. So put a check by valorous. There are a number of postures that you can choose from, but because of this initial charge, you have to choose valorous. One of them, I think, is passive or defensive, and another one is aggressive or something like that, and or reckless. And I think reckless means you have to fight 3 rounds, and I think passive means you have to fight 1 round. But because you guys are in the middle, which is valorous, you get 2 rounds of combat. Okay. Normally select each checks your valorous. Okay. Now, you may also roll for a passion. This works just like a normal inspiration. You justify why you're going to use it, which is going to be pretty easy. You apply the usual inspiration bonus. The only restriction is that you can only roll this once per battle. So the entire day, right? But you will get to use it this entire encounter. Or you can hold on to it for the next encounter.
probably hold mine until we fight the commander.
Now, to keep things simple, players who suffer madness or melancholy do not suffer the effects right away. Wait until the end of the day. Okay, just FYI. Melancholy and madness happens when you fail a passion roll. So, this is something we haven't really dealt with because I think everybody succeeded in their passion rolls. But if you fail a passion roll, you become out of sorts. You're like, oh, I can't believe it, or whatever. And throughout the day, sometimes week or even weeks, you become distracted or unable to accomplish any tasks. You basically just say, F it, I quit, basically until you get snapped out of it, which sometimes means someone has to talk to you and get you to, what do you call it? Like console you and get you back, get your mind right again.
Go to a shrink, right?
Say that again?
Go to a shrink.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's exactly right. Or your friend, or your wife, or a priest, or you could get someone to slap you hard across the face. You know, but I'm not sure. We haven't really dealt with that, but we'll deal with it if you fail. Oh, you don't have to use a passion. Passions are voluntary.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait for the commander fight to use the passion.
Okay. Now the odds are low that you're going to crit on a battle roll, but you might. Um, is Gwyneth, are you going to use passion or no?
Um,
Remember that they can be
yes.
evoked once per day
Yes.
because the bonus lasts until the situation passes. Each inspiration or impassioned bonus expires at the end of the battle turn on which it was involved. Right, right. We knew that. Which one are you going to use?
Um, could I do honor again?
Yeah, yeah, you definitely can.
Yeah. We're charging for honor, so
Yeah.
see how fired up I get.
All
A
right.
success.
A success is +5 to one of your skills. Which skill is it going to be?
We're
Charge?
going to be charging, correct?
You are going to be charging.
Then I would like to do it to charging. Yes.
Okay. So you compare it against horsemanship first, and then just add 5 on top of that.
So I have a 10 charge and a 13 horsemanship. So I would go with charge,
Which is
plus
10.
5, 15.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, that's exactly correct.
Cool.
You're not stuck at 13.
Okay.
Okay. If uh, only the first round counts as a mounted charge. If there are fewer opponents than active characters in the second combat round, then you may go 2-1 against your foes. Okay. Yeah, you can never go more than 2-1 against anyone. It's because the horses get in the way. Okay, rebated weapons. They deal half damage. Now, remind you, it's constantly saying remind you, but it's really just to tell me. The objective of this melee is to capture as many knights and horses as possible. The lord with the most captives to their banner at the end of the day is the winner. If fighting against the Knights of Gore, nope, nope, nope. You're not fighting against Gore. Okay. The Knights of Lothian do not withhold their blows under any circumstance. Okay, so they're going to roll all their dice and then half it. You're going to roll all your dice and half it. It does say that the Knights of Gore were only going to roll 2 dice because they were going to be, it's about the spirit and not about winning. You know, I don't know. They were going to be a lot more honorable. So it's up to you guys to decide how many dice you want to roll when you strike, but you can roll up to your maximum dice, which I think is 2.
And then it'll do half of that.
Right. Oh, I mean, no. I mean, your dice are 4 or 5 during the charge or 6 during the charge, whatever it is. And then it would be half of that.
Okay.
They remember that rebated weapons do half damage. If you're going after King Lot, right?
Well, we did in fact hear these guys get told to go full strength, and man, I'm in this to win it, so I'm not going to feel bad for going full strength.
Now, a knight who surrenders, like I give up, or is knocked off their horse, or is knocked unconscious is considered captured. So if they fall off their horse, they're out of the fight. And they're considered captured. And they have to like walk over to your banner and stand until the end so the marshals can count it, you know. Uh, and you get to claim their riderless horse. Captured knights and horses must be led back by their knight or else by your squire with a successful squire roll, or by signaling a kipper with a battle roll. A kipper is basically a stand-in squire or someone to collect bodies, basically. So if you want, like if you capture somebody, you can either do it yourself, you can roll for your squire to do it, or you can roll for a kipper to do it. And you can't, if you do it, then basically you're retiring from the fight. Yeah, for one round. Okay, actually, you can do it. There's no. It no. Yeah, you can just no. You can do it. Okay, either way. Okay, so let's go into the first round of melee, which is the charge. Uh, and let me do a few of these die rolls. I'm going to start with Sir Leo. Let me see if I can bring up Sir Leo's battle card. Hmm. Yeah, I'll just use that one. Um, okay, so he gets attacked twice, and he gets a -5 because he's defending against 2. So let me find his weapons. Okay, things are flying all over the place. Hang on. Oh, charge. There it is. I was like, where is it? He gets a -5. Okay.
I thought he was in charge.
Yeah, using charge.
He got spirit sword.
Yeah. And the first one of the Lothians also failed. Okay, so the second Lothian charges him, and then he charges back with a -5. Everybody fails. Okay. Fail versus fail versus fail. Nobody fumbled. Oh, wait, there is a fumble. Hold on. That was him. Okay. He fumbled. With the lance.
Oh, I thought these were all swords.
No.
Right.
They're no. The the charge is with the lances or spears,
Okay.
and then after that it goes with after that you'll go with sword. Okay, so I didn't put it there. I need to like make a folder of I need to make a folder of commonly used rules that I
So you
need.
got that chart, right? You got the chart.
What chart are we talking about? I'm looking for a fumble chart.
They did awful.
Yeah, you had a chart last time where it showed everything around fumble and the hit or success or whatever. You had a chart about it.
Yes, but what I'm looking for is specifically a horse charge fumble where your lance might break or it might go into the ground, might cause damage to you, might knock you off your horse. That's not on that chart that you're referencing. Okay. Get rid of the player stuff. Get rid of the starter set stuff. Core rules. Here we are. Appendix. Okay, never mind. I'm going to go to rule book. I was trying to do it all in roll 20 and I don't know where to look. But in the rule book I know where it is.
Table 7.2, mounted lance charge fumble.
Okay, 7.2. Okay, good.
Down at
Yeah.
Mounted lance charge fumble. There it is. Thank you. So he has to make a horsemanship roll. Okay, he could do that. Maybe. Success. Lance broken. Character struck by flying splinters for 1d6 damage. Armor does not protect. Yikes.
And that's a success.
Yeah. Don't fumble with your lance. Okay, so he takes 3 points of damage. But it didn't knock him off the horse. That's always a good thing. Come on, Leo. Let me mark you some damage. Aubrey's. Okay. Close him. There we go. All right. So after that first round, Sir Leo, these two knights, nothing really happens. Okay, Sir Sanson, let's go ahead and have your charge um, against this one knight. Um,
All right. All right.
yeah, the way it's worded is spear or sword, skill charge. You get a -5. No, you don't. You don't get a minus. Okay. We both succeed, but I succeeded better. Tables, combat,
I'll get my
resolution.
shield.
Here, I'll pull it up for everybody to see. So you do get your shield. That's correct. Plus, his damage is going to be halved. So if he did 21, it's going to be 10, 11. And then I know your armor is way more than that. Okay. Success against partial success means minus armor and shield. But we already knew all that. Okay, good. You have to make a. What's your knockdown?
13 of them.
Okay, so he didn't do enough damage to knock you off your horse, which is a good thing. Okay, so you guys are done. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, so let's just jump to Sir Gwyneth. Go ahead, Sir Gwyneth.
Okay.
I'm going to do a lance charge as well as spear lance.
Okay.
You get a -0. Okay.
We both failed.
Okay, we both failed. So there's nobody fumbled though. Okay.
Actually, we tied. Does that matter if it's fails?
No, fails or fails. You both missed. Do you see how I get the roll and the damage all in one click?
Yes.
Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, I had done charge instead of clicking.
But charge,
Like
you can
lance.
add damage
Yeah. I just haven't.
Okay. Oh, you have
Oh,
it
I
as
wasted
lance.
my good roll.
Okay, you have it as lance. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so after one round, pretty uneventful, right? Nobody dies. Nobody got knocked off their horse.
It doesn't actually change the result, but I forgot I was supposed to add 5 because my passion. But I still fail because that just puts me to 15.
Would that? Okay, right. Okay, well, you get to do it again because on the next round, it's sword v sword on horse. It's not a charge. So now you're looking at sword versus horsemanship. No +5 because you chose charge.
Okay. Oh, that is a critical.
Oh, well, I
So
hope
I check sword.
you do. But let me crit you as well.
If you do, I might cry.
I don't. I fumble.
A fumble.
Oh no, this is going to be bad. Or good for you guys. Critical success against a fumble. Character wins. Opponent suffers an additional 46 damage. No shield.
No shield, and they drop or break their weapon.
That's right.
It's a sword, so I don't think it breaks on a fumble. Right.
But he drops it though.
Yeah.
Where did you click on lance?
Because I was showing that I could click one with damage.
No, I mean, where is lance?
Oh, where?
You have to
Um,
make it yourself.
yeah, it's if you look beneath
Oh,
your
your,
skills, there's the attack section.
it says other, yeah.
Yeah, I made one there. You just click add.
That'll give the damage.
And then you put the
Yeah.
damage in there. Which is your horse?
Um,
Probably 6.
so with my sword, it's 3d6, but because of that result, I add 4d6. So it's 7d6. So that's going to be 27 minus armor.
No, it's halved.
Oh, right. So 13 minus armor.
13. I got to check to see if that's more than his knockdown.
Or
It is
how does
not.
rounding work on damage?
All rounding is off.
Oh, then I got a 14.
Where do you
Because
put
27
the
is 13 and a half.
Right, you got a 14.
Where do you put the damage at? Where do you record the damage?
Under your attacks, you create an attack.
Yeah, it did. But there's only the skill level and the lance. I don't see a place.
So in the attack section, you will have the little weapon subsection. It's weapon skill damage. And so you'll have under the weapon column, click and it'll let you put in the name. Skill is a drop down menu.
Right, it's a
and then to the right,
weapon
that's damage.
subsection. Yeah, that's a good call. Good call. Okay, wait.
Put it in the wrong-
You
put
did
it in the-
14, which is not his knockdown, believe it or not. So he's not knocked off
But
his
it better
horse.
have hurt.
It is not greater than his major wound. It is equal to his major wound, so I'll have to take a look at that. But his armor is 10. So he took.
So I hit him for 4.
So he takes 4 points of damage. But I want to see what that major wound is. Hang on.
Why is his major wound lower than his knockdown?
His
is
size.
knockdown like strength based?
It's size and strength.
Okay, and major wound is con, and I have a really high con. Okay. I assumed they were purely based off of like health. Okay.
Right. Let me look at medical, or I should say, what is major wound? Let me see if I can find that. Poison? No. Ransom? No.
Okay, let me test this out.
Yeah, you can test it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there you go. Perfect. Just saves a die roll. Combat. Here we go. Combat round. Injury. Okay, this has got to be where it's at. Because that's what you're doing. You're injuring him. States of health. Yeah, he's not debilitated. Well, it might be. Losing hit points below, it's unconscious. No. Taking a major wound. Okay, yes. That's what I'm checking. The hit point value represents the character's capacity. Lose hit points, some forms of damage. Record hit points, next to the box. Oh, that's just taking damage. I'm sorry, I didn't. Major wound. Damage from a single blow that is greater than or equal to his major wound characteristic. Okay. He just took a major wound. He basically got broken bones. He immediately goes unconscious. and falls off his horse.
You know what it sounds? Oh well, that'll be why he dropped his sword.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, you know what it sounds like? It sounds like I broke his arm
Yeah, could be. Could be.
or like his wrist. Like I caught it with my flat.
Yeah. So at this point, you have to decide to either pull out or call for a squire or call for a kipper.
As I believe we saw in the last winter scene, Gwynnis is not one to pull out. So I will call for my squire.
Okay, so your squire should have a squire skill roll.
Yes, he has a 13.
Uh,
Success.
okay, so you successfully get the knight and his horse. Okay. So, oh, and better yet, let me pull up the Knight of Lothian. You also get 50 glory.
Haha.
Yeah, that's crazy high for one dude.
I did it in one shot.
Well, this is this is round 2.
With a covered weapon.
This is round 2.
Yeah, but I missed the first one. It doesn't count.
Okay. All right. So then we go to where are you at? Sanson. This is round 2, so you get to use your sword. Also, did you get a minus for using a heater shield or a kite shield? You probably forgot that. But guess what? So did I. So it balances out.
I get a minus for a kite shield?
Yeah, because it's not a charge. It's just fighting him one-on-one. He also gets a -2. You both get a -2. So when you go to click it, it'll ask for the modifier. You just put -2. And this would be sword, but not a charge. This is just regular sword. Okay, here we go. I clicked it. I'm putting a -2 in there because I'm using a kite shield on a horse that's not a charge. If all that makes sense. I got a success. But I got a 4. So let's see if you can get better than a 4 and still success.
How come they went to 2 Macross? What the hell is it?
Yeah, you put -2 for the macro.
2, and then it went to another macro.
That's for damage.
Why did it do that?
That's a damage modifier.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but don't just hit enter or whatever it is. Okay, it's tie. Okay, but you did a lot more damage than him. You both have 5d6. That's pretty good, but you roll a lot better than him. Okay, so a tie. Success versus success. Combat's tie. Both suffered damage minus their armor and shield. Okay, so you both hit each other. Now, he gets half of that, so he'll take 11, which his shields and his armor block that, and his knockdown is higher than 11. So he takes no damage. You take 7, and I'm sure your armor is more than that. So you take no damage as well. Yeah, so you both smack each other with your swords. Okay, so that's the end of this combat round. Wounds are held over till the next combat round, if there is another combat round. I don't think any of you guys got wounded. I think it was just Leo and yeah, that's it. Just Leo from his own lance. Okay, so I'm going to move these guys. I know that a couple of the Knights of Lothian got wounded, but there's an event that happens. Hang on. Hang on. Sorry, I got to bring the story back up. Melee procedures. Tournament. Here we go. Now, combat is joined. Regular encounter. Knight with a valorous posture. Okay, hold on. I already read all that. Okay. I don't need to read that anymore. Hang on. Bear with me. I'm jumping all over the place.
How does the posture come into play?
The posture just did come into play. It means that you fought for 2 combat rounds. That the posture just decides how many rounds you fight. Yeah. Yeah, this little tournament thing is a little bit disorganized. As you are wrapping up your first turn, some kind of tumult breaks out on the sidelines. Everyone can make an awareness roll. Gwyneth makes it.
A success. Oh.
Sanson, he's got dirt in his eyes. Okay. A successful awareness roll, not a crit, right? Okay. Makes out the sound of a young squire shouting at the edge of the field near Fleet Street. Okay, so Fleet Street is the South Street. Okay, southern edge. A critical success. Nope. Trumpets blare. The melee is over. You hear one of the other knights say, the melee is over already? And then there are some people that are confused. The riders stop and they look at each other. And then the squire yells again, the sword, the sword. Now everyone can hear it and see the squire pointing frantically back towards St. Paul's, some comprehending, others merely reacting. Knights everywhere turn their horses and start streaming in the indicated direction back into the city. I assume you guys are streaming back into the city. Yeah. The cathedral's steeple is clearly visible over and beyond the old Roman walls. You may look to your ersatz commander. Let's go, says the aging king. Without hesitation, he turns his horse and spurs it to a gallop up Fleet Street. Ask for a horsemanship roll to follow him. That's harsh. Horsemanship. Somebody failed.
Another success.
A critical success puts you at his side. A success behind him. A failure, you're caught among the mingling horses trying to go the same way. While a fumble means you're confused and you take damage. Or you're crushed.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay, so no fumbles. Just a failure. So you're in and amongst the rest of the knights, where Gwyneth was able to keep up with King Leodegrace. The city walls loom ahead as the rushing gaggle of horsemen, crushing mass of knights, are all trying to get through the Ludgate at once. But too many riders are making the same push. As you reach the gate, you can only make slow headway. Basically, you're looking at like a 10-foot wide gate, or it's a double gate, but it's only maybe 3 horses can get through at a time, and there's people on foot trying to get through all these horses. You're looking at maybe probably about 100 knights on horse trying to get through. So it's kind of tight.
So someone pulled the sword from the stone, I guess.
That's kind of what this squire is implying. And everybody's in a panic. There's hundreds of knights. They're keyed up. Their adrenaline's up because of the melee. They're desperate to be first in to see what's going on in person. Emerging onto the city streets now, everyone is galloping. There, a horse goes down. There, a man is trampled. But the knights keep dashing. Now the going is getting easier. The road leads directly to St. Paul's. It looms up ahead. It is only a few steps to enter the grassy courtyard northeast of the cathedral. More knights are pouring in behind, and it is a struggle for place. If you critically succeeded in your horsemanship, which you didn't, so we're skipping, you would have gained 10 glory. Okay. Those who succeeded are not far behind. The stragglers, those who failed or fumbled, have to make your way through the crowd of commoners that has already gathered. As some knights push through them on horseback without a word of apology, if you'd like to make a station roll, you can. Or you could. It's weird. It's like make a station roll, but get a check on something else. If you make a station roll, you can do so as well. So do you want to like push forward, pushing the commoners to the side with your horse, forcing your way forward and not saying anything? Or are you saying, excuse me, sorry for that, I need to get forward, clear the way, what are you doing? And I'm talking to Sanson because Gwyneth is already up there.
Yeah, Sanson is apologizing moving. He's not gonna go try to go through.
Okay, yeah, they heed you, they move to the side or what have you, and they they don't want to get crushed by your horse. A squire on the cusp of manhood, his chin showing his first scraggly whiskers, stands at the stone, watching the knights assemble around him. You recognize him as a boy you saw earlier, and he was acting as a squire for one of the other knights. The sword is struck through the anvil, as always. Okay, you get to roll recognized with a +3 bonus. That's nice. +3 is always good. Everybody, recognize +3.
Well, that is a fumble.
Fumble is a check on recognize. A fumble on horse awareness is also a check on awareness. So Sanson, don't forget you fumbled on awareness. So you do get a check. Because you can learn from your mistakes, is what it's saying. And Gwyneth fumbled and Sanson failed. Okay. So you don't recognize him. You don't know who he's wearing a badge of some other knight that you don't know who it is. I've already lost my place.
That's the second time I fumbled on recognize today.
Yeah, he's a squire to a minor knight. There is a knight standing beside him, and he's wearing the same badge as the knight. So you can tell he's the squire to that knight. A successful religion pagan. There's only one of you that can make that roll. Because I think only one of you have pagan religion.
Mm-hmm.
What do you roll?
Religion. You should have pagan religion, I think. Okay, you don't. No big deal. A successful religion Christian.
I can do that.
Yeah.
Boop. Boop. That's a failure.
Man, you guys suck. Okay, no, I'm just playing. But
Now, if only I still had a passion. Oh well.
that's right. There is an archbishop on the steps of the cathedral, his face set and serious. The crowd is shouting, their voices a great babble. So basically, there's so many people talking right now that it just sounds like
It's a crowd.
It's a crowd. There's too many. It's like you're in a bar. It's too much to handle. But you do hear, he drew the sword. And then someone else says, who did? That lad there. Him? Impossible. Only the King of Britain can pull the sword. King Lot of Lothian leaps from his horse and pushes the boy aside.
I remember that.
If this thing is going to move, it'll move for me, he shouts, laying his hand upon the sword grip. He pulls and pulls until his hands slip from the sword, and he staggers backward.
You gotta lift with your knees.
Someone says, you gotta lift from your knees. No, another person says, let the boy try, comes a shout from the crowd. And then many more, yes, let the boy try.
That's what I'm going to say. Let the boy try.
The knight standing next to him looks at his squire and nods. And the young lad lays one hand on the sword and pulls it from the stone without any trouble whatsoever. The crowd, knight and commoner alike, gasps and then slides it back in place. He puts it back. Another knight, you don't recognize him. He pushes his way to the rock. Oh, you do recognize him. It's King Uriens of Gore. Like Lot before him, he tugs, pulls, and then tries to manhandle it free, but it does not budge.
Okay, now if that kid pulls it out a third time, he's just showing off.
As Uriens steps away, the lad again pulls it effortlessly free.
Now you're just showing off.
The king, shouts someone. He's the king. The boy drew the sword, shouts King Leodegrés. The boy is the king.
Yeah, Samson is going to go to his knees and...
What do you think? This is a question. What do you think of all this? Are you shouting in agreement alongside Leodegrés, or are you waiting to see how this all plays out?
I'm in agreement. That sword would not budge for us, and I pulled really hard, and this scrawny little squire is just effortless. There's something's at play here that I don't want to go against. I'm in agreement.
Yeah, Samson is going to show him homage. He goes to his knees.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, plus
Okay.
this is outside of Cathedral, right?
It is.
Yeah, it's a holy sword. Yeah, I believe in the church.
So almost everyone is in agreement with Leodegrace, but there is a group that's not. And King Lot shouts, "Not while I live." He draws his own sword and strides towards the boy. His guards dismount and are a few steps behind him.
We're going to intervene. Or I'm going to intervene.
You can intercept these brutal knights. You can flick your reins and guide your horses to block Lot's path.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing that? Okay, you're both doing that?
That's
Okay.
Yeah.
Basically guarding the king.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our king. Like God said so. I mean,
He pulled the sword from the stone. I'm going to go.
Okay. If you don't react, Arthur is struck down dead. No, I'm kidding. It doesn't say that. Wait. If you do not intervene, roll prudent. Okay, but no, you're not doing that. Okay. So you do intervene. Okay, King Lot is at first, he's surprised that you guys, you punks, you little you country nobodies are getting in the way. And he's
I don't work for you.
That's right. Without a word, he slashes at one of you with his sword. Out of you two, who has the highest glory?
I think it's Sanson, but I have 2454.
Sanson, what do you got?
You got the highest. You got the highest.
Okay,
Oh, really?
so he strikes at Gwyneth. You get to use your sword skill, but you get a +5 for having a height advantage. And -2 for the shield.
Come on, Gwyneth, you can do it.
So it's technically a +3. Yeah, +3.
Does he still have his passion?
No. That only lasts for one round of battle. Oh, you're critical. Okay, let's see if he succeeds. He has a 20 skill. He has a +3 sword. So he's at 23. He failed. He succeeded, but not as good as you did. So, if you want, you can strike at him or you could just block. If the household moves to. Okay. Everyone still has rebated blades.
I would attack him because he attacked our king.
Did you want to strike him or are you just blocking? Silence. Quietness. His mic is not working. I heard a sneeze or a cough. Mason. Silence.
Jeez.
There you go. Nope, nothing. You must have a loose wire or something.
I'm sorry. I have got to get a new headset. That means that explains a lot.
King a lot. No, are you going to strike him or are you just
Okay.
blocking?
No, I'm just going to block. I'm a very forgiving and merciful sort, and he didn't actually attack yet. I'm just going to block.
Oh, he did. He struck at you.
Yeah, but he didn't attack the king.
No, he's trying to get you for getting in his way.
Yeah, so I'm just blocking him.
Okay. Plus, he's using a rebated weapon, so it'd be half damage anyway. Okay.
And I'm not seeking bloodshed. I'm specifically seeking peace. Hence why I intercepted the attack in the first place.
Okay, we're using this.
So.
Okay, so during that little strike there, while you were busy and there's like an engagement, one of the loyal Lothian guards slips past the players and leaps towards the boy, who draws his blade out of the stone and cuts the knight dead in one smooth motion.
I back my horse up out of the king's way and I say, yeah, go ahead.
King Leodegrace and his knights, plus half a dozen other kings and many, many knights, swarm between King Lot and the heir apparent. The boy drew the sword, says King Leodegrace. He is by right the king.
I'll say it with him.
And then you hear, no beardless boy shall ever be my king, shouts King Lot. Nor mine, says someone. Nor mine, comes from the other voices. I say he is my king, says Leodegrace. And he kneels before the squire, who accepts the offered sword, saying, as I am king, I accept your offer. Now it's time for you to act. You are closest to the boy and have a chance to be among the first knights to swear loyalty to the new king.
Well, I swear loyalty before this all happens. I'll do the same.
Man, I hate to be, one of like 40 people going, my king, my king, my king, no, me first. But
well, you're first because you're close.
Yeah,
and you're one of the first.
I did also just intercept an attack for him.
A bunch of people.
Actions speak louder than words and all that.
A bunch of people kneel in front of him, and he walks amongst the crowd. Basically, you can tell that he's accepting everybody's fealty. And then while this is happening, King Lot throws the rebated sword to the ground, saying, this is useless. I'll be back with a sword that won't fail me, he says, and leaps on top of his horse. His guards are just a half a step behind him, and they pivot and spur their steeds, heedless of those who are nearby, trample in the crowd. Others are doing the same, and a reproachable howl goes up from the crowd as they go. Hail King Arthur, shouts Sir Hector, thrusting his sword aloft. Hail King Arthur, echoes the crowd, and again, Hail King Arthur, and again, Hail King Arthur.
I'll be doing the same.
And you're joining the crowd. Absolutely.
Pull them all off my horse.
It's a very big deal that Britain now has, or at least half of Britain, has a king. King Lot, or I should say, what do you call him? What would you call him? A king of all of Britain. But King Lot and his lot doesn't agree, and they probably will be a thorn.
Now I feel like I should have hit him.
Now, just outer character, because the name of this sword is Clarent. It is not Excalibur, just for those of you that are curious.
Clarence was the original name.
Yeah, because Excalibur was given to him later by the Lady of the Lake. This Clarent was the sword of power. Actually, it's actually called the sword of peace. Merlin called it the sword of power, but King Arthur calls it the sword of peace. Okay. If you want, you can add a passion called Homage Arthur. If you do, you roll 1d6 and add 6. That's its starting value. And then on top of that, you get a plus 10 for some unknown mystical reason. I know it's weird, right? Okay, so if you want to add an homage, so it's 1d6 plus 16. It's pretty high. All right. So you got a 18 homage Arthur. And Gwyneth's got a 20. Now, just so you know, this won't really come into play for you guys, but Clarent gives its wielder a plus 5 armor just for being in his hands. It also causes fumbled swords to break instead of just being dropped. Pretty good. Pretty cool. Okay, doesn't give a plus like to hit or damage though. That would have been nice. Okay, the next step.
If I remember history right, the ones that were against him attacked one of the other king's castles, correct?
Okay, say that again. I was reading.
I said, knowing from the history, King Lot and the others decided to attack one of the other king's castles, correct?
None of the kings attacked any of the other kings' castles? Is that what you asked?
No, I said King Lot and the ones that were against Arthur
King Lot, yeah.
attacked one of the other king's castles, right?
I'm not sure what history says, but that's to be determined. But no, I don't know. In actual history, that's not really what we're playing, right? So, but in the novels, I think King Lot attacked a lot of different castles. I think maybe not London, but a lot of different like minor or border castles. But here we go. This is going to be just a little heads up before we end the stream, okay? Because I'm getting ready to end the game for tonight. I want the next game because it's a great stopping point. But I want you to know that Arthur comes up to you and your group because you stepped in front to protect him, and he says, "I noticed your loyalty and your unwavering brave. You're very brave to step in front of King Lot, who is a very powerful warrior, and you help protect me and I would like you to perform a duty for me. He's asking. Robert's nowhere to be seen. Because
So I
there's
do
so many.
not laugh when he asks me to do a duty.
There's too many
And I say
people in the
yes.
crowd. Okay. King
You're running,
Leodegraze is standing there, and other knights, and yeah, he looks at you guys and says, "I have a task for you. Maybe not a duty, but I have a task. And what do you say, kind knight?" And he points at you, Sanson.
Archer's warrior is my command.
You are. I wish for you to spend the evening guarding Clarent. I'm gonna place it in a place of honor for all to see on the altar of Saint Paul's Cathedral.
Oh.
So people can like funnel in and see it, because all they've seen is the handle. They haven't seen the whole sword and all that.
Oh, okay. See, I was gonna say why couldn't you just display it in the anvil? Because then it's safe. But yeah, no, I get it.
It'll be my honor to guard this.
This is the holiest place in the city. None will dare tamper with the sword, while a great gathering of barons is called for Candlemas on the 2nd of February. That's like almost
Okay.
a month.
And what's
from
today?
The 9th, the 10th of January. Okay, so there will be a total. He didn't go to just you two.
Okay.
He selected 24 knights, in 3 shifts of 8. It's largely an honorary posting, because no one's going to enter the cathedral and steal it. And all of them vow to protect the sword with their lives. I assume you do the same.
Oh, yes.
Okay. So you're going to stand guard inside the cathedral while other guards stand at the entrance. And several large beeswax candles light the cathedral, but very poorly, leaving flickering shadows in the vaults and alcoves. This is a holy place. No pews fill the church. This is a big, empty, echoing space. Entry into the cathedral is through 3 doors. One on the west side, several double doors. Wait. Through 3 doorways. On the west side are several double doors, with double doors entering the north and south. A single knight is stationed at each of the entries and questions anyone entering. No one is expected in the middle of the night, because a strict curfew is set in the city. Anyone out after dark is assumed to be a criminal. And that's where we're going to end it, with you guys on guard, watching over Clarent the sword for King Arthur.
Okay.
And Robert is and your squires and the other knights of Robert's court are very proud that you were selected to do this task. And he basically says, like, my boys were chosen. It's one of those kind of things. I raised them right, even though he didn't have anything to do with it.
Yeah.
All right. So that's where we're at. So how'd you guys like
So-
tonight?
It's good.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
I love it.
So we're gonna steal the sword and sell it to King Lot, right?
Exactly. Or give it to him, and then be his barons or something. I don't know. The other knights in the hall might have something to say about that.
Yeah, but see, if I have the magic sword, I have the magic sword.
That's true. If you draw it, but you
No,
didn't
no.
draw it from the anvil, so.
Right. Oh, so it might not even work for me.
Mm-hmm.
That would be embarrassing.
Yeah, and
But that's also not what my characters would do. So
right, I got you. Yeah, so you
But
guys
wouldn't
are
that be a
you
fun
guys
twist?
have just entered a new, what would you call it? A new era or a new in okay, there was a time it was called Time of Uther. And then when he was killed, up until today, it was called the Time of Anarchy. And now it is called the Boy King. So you guys have just entered the Boy King. The Boy King. Boy King. All right, so I'm gonna do my best to recruit another player or two if I can. If we don't, it's okay. If you guys don't mind playing with just two, I'm okay with it. But I'm gonna try to recruit anybody out there watching the stream. If you're interested in joining, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next Thursday. Sound good?
Yeah, either way, it doesn't matter.
Either way, I'm with you. And Mason, I can't hear a word you're saying. I see it flashing like you're trying to get
Oh
something
no,
out.
that's I think just the air vent blowing on it enough for it to register.
Okay. If you are looking for a new headset, I really like these Corsairs. Just letting you know.
Okay.
I have a Corsair wireless, and I only have to charge it for like 5 minutes every day.
Okay.
I plug
I
it
don't even
in.
have to do that. I only have to charge it once a week. I got a Baveo.
Okay.
Baveo. Okay. It's an
Oh.
excellent headset.
Now I don't use the microphone, so I can't tell you how that does. But
Well, mine's
I'm not-
corded.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I think
I'm not using my headset right now. I'm using a cam. But my headset is really loud if I use it.
yeah.
So you're using your webcam microphone?
Yeah, I'm using a webcam. Right?
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's why I can't hear you sometimes.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah. But
Because
it's
I
all
might
right.
not be near the cam when I speak, and it's hard to hear.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. Well, it was fun. I enjoyed it. We got through. I learned a little bit about combat with you guys. This is also a learning experience for me, and this whole intro to this. We're still not in the Gray Knight. The Gray Knight is when the campaign actually starts. Okay, so we're not in the Gray Knight. We're in the Tournament of the Sword, and so that is like the second half of the introduction, you know. Um, so during this period, we should be touching on a lot of different of the game mechanics, and that helps me out as well. All right, guys. I'll catch you next time.
Who is the Gray Knight anyway? Is it actually the Black Knight?
No, there is a Black Knight, but there is a Gray Knight as well. There's a Green Knight, the Green Knight.
Yeah, I noticed.
Yeah, and then there's the Gray Knight. The Gray Knight is, you don't know yet. You're about to find out. You will find
Yeah.
out.
I never heard of this right now.
That's good. That means it'll be a surprise. And plus, I'm also incorporating some of my own storyline once we get to the Grey Knight as well. So it'll be more than just the module.
Okay.
I'm gonna introduce more fantasy elements to the game, like I forgot. Dang it! Darn
Quest
it!
Beast.
I forgot. That night you slept before the tournament, something was supposed to happen
Oh no!
to each of you while you were asleep. Guess what? It'll happen next time.
Okay.
Because it's not important. It's just a story. It's injecting some of the story. All right, you guys have a good night. I'll catch you next time.
You too.
And also, everybody out there in the wonderful world of YouTube, thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. I see that we had quite a few viewers at some times and then less viewers at other times, but that's perfectly fine, And if nobody wants to chat with me, that's good because I usually don't get a chance to read chat while I'm trying to read the module or run the game. So I don't really get a chance to interact with chat. That's not something I do. So later tonight, maybe tomorrow afternoon, what I'll probably do is I'm going to record a introduction to Pendragon, but it's also going to be a recruitment video because we're playing with 2 players right now, and I would love to have a third or even a 4th player. So if you're interested and you think it would be exciting to play in the era of King Arthur, just let me know, and we'll see what we can do. All right, guys, I'll catch you in the next one.